This episode is all about sustainable fashion. Upcycled fashion in Japan is super stylish. Check this one out. It's made from hemp coffee bean sacks. And Rin Rin visits a tailor who can upgrade anyone's old clothes into something amazing. Plus, find out who won the Kawaii Sustainable DIY contest. Kawaii International.
Hello friends, it's the Stitches. Many of you are probably familiar with Kawaii or Kawaii International, which is a group / television show that runs on NHK in Japan. It is an English language Japanese television show about kawaii culture, and they discuss various different topics, issues, various other things about kawaii culture. They also have the Kawaii Leaders, which is a very well-known thing that they do. They also run tons and tons of user submission contests or audience submission contests. But essentially they're these contests where different people can submit photographs to potentially be featured on the show. And recently they had a contest about sustainable DIY made items, and I can't possibly think of a contest that is more fitting for myself to enter. So a few hundred people submitted photos of different projects that they had done, and we all got to vote on them to see which one was, I don't know, the coolest one, the most technical one. We just voted on whichever one we liked. And the winner was featured on an episode of Kawaii International. I did not win, but in addition to featuring the winner, they also featured a few runners-up and some honorable mentions. So I actually had my dress featured on the episode as well, so I figured we would watch it together. There's also a lot of other cool stuff that they talk about in the episode, so let's watch it.
Hey Rin, what you doing?
I'm auctioning clothes that I don't wear anymore.
Oh yeah, that's really nice and sustainable. It's such a waste to keep clothes that you don't wear anymore.
That's right. That's why this time the theme is Be Sustainably Kawaii.
I love that they're talking about selling old clothes that you don't wear anymore. That's definitely one of the things that I love about kawaii fashion, especially, is because there is such a thriving secondhand market. You can literally buy any J fashion brand secondhand. There are so many places to shop for that kind of thing online.
This episode is all about sustainable fashion. Upcycled fashion in Japan is super stylish.
I also think it's really cool that sustainability seems to be like a thing that is really thriving in not just Japan, but everywhere. Like, the whole world is really focusing on sustainability, probably because of all the climate stuff going on in the world. But like, I'm so happy that it's becoming so like mainstream and popular, and so many people are talking about it.
Women's fashion magazines are putting sustainability front and center. This lifestyle magazine recently devoted an entire issue to sustainability. The articles are about sustainable projects around the world. The fashion industry has problems with creating massive waste and excessive inventory. And this shop is taking that problem head on. Upon closer inspection, the clothes don't have labels. Actually, this shop buys excess inventory from fashion brands and resells the clothes.
A note on missing labels in clothing though, a lot of times it means that clothing is from a dubious source, and usually, especially if you buy like brand name clothing with the labels removed online, it's usually a pretty good indication that it's a counterfeit item, so be really careful about removed labels in clothing.
By removing the labels, they protect the value of the original brand. Meet Shoichi Yamamoto, whose company has been operating for 21 years now. We visited their warehouse. Check out the huge stacks of boxes. It's all overstock they've bought from other brands.
Dead stock is definitely a good way to keep stuff at a landfill. That's always like the #1 goal of sustainability, is just keeping old stuff out of landfill, because nothing is able to properly biodegrade in the landfill. It all just becomes like entombed together. So that's definitely like the biggest, most important thing, is to recycle things and keep things being used.
How does he do the deals? Shoichi takes us on one of his business calls. These winter coats retail for $80 to $170, but the brand has 2,000 of them left over.
Nah, man, 2,000 leftover coats? I'm sure that's probably nothing compared to some of the orders that people put in, which is why like places like Overstock and like Ross and Burlington Coat Factory exists. Although I think I'm going to make a video about that in the future, because a lot of that stuff actually isn't dead stock like this. But it's definitely interesting to see how a shop like this works like behind the scenes.
どんぐらいがいいですか？まださん、もう値段つけてくれたらいいんですけど、うちの希望としてはもうオープンで一律1500円。
Dang, if they're willing to sell them for $15 each wholesale, how much did they pay to have them made? It must not have been a whole lot.
余剰在庫に関しては減っていってるとは思います。ただ商品を廃棄したりする量がゼロになってるかというと、そうではないので、残った商品を弊社が買ったりとか、商品を廃棄するようなことをゼロにしていきたいなと思っています。
I definitely have mixed feelings about the whole like outlet store type thing, because in a way it does sort of like give these big fast fashion brands the incentive to keep overproducing, because they know that they always have somebody to sell it to. But on the other hand, like if they have no one to sell it to, like eventually they'd stop making less, but like for the time being they would still overproduce, and that stuff would just go to landfill. It's such a sticky situation, honestly.
What's sustainable fashion without used clothing? Some brands are now thriving on upcycling. We're in this quiet Shibuya neighborhood to visit a very special boutique. You can only shop by appointment. The address isn't public information.
What? I know consignment shops that like will only let you sell clothes to them by appointment, but like, dang, you have to shop by appointment? They're trying to be all luxury brand about it.
こんにちは。どうぞ。
The clientele are stylists and fashionistas who care about sustainability.
I love how the shop looks like it's just set up in somebody's house. It's so weird.
The owners handpick vintage pieces in the US. Then they take apart the vintage pieces and redesign them. Eriko and Aki run the shop and make the pieces.
So this is interesting. They go to the US and then they buy like old vintage stuff, and then they bring it back to Japan and then take it apart, deconstruct it, and then upcycle it, which is interesting. I wonder how they're factoring in the travel and all of that into, like, because that definitely has to factor into both the cost, but then it also factors into like the carbon footprint. So I definitely don't consider either of these shops that we've seen so far the most sustainable. But it is interesting to see how they are challenging the like current traditional like way that clothes are marketed.
First is this button-up blouse. It's made from about 40 vintage neckties. Wow!
1回で2000本全部一本一本柄を見て
トンぐらいあるこの山の中から一つ一つ選んでいいと思います。
Next, check out this lace outfit.
I'm definitely seeing this patchwork style a lot in sustainable fashion brands. I don't personally think that I'm a big fan of it, but I do think seeing all these crazy things that people can come up with is really interesting.
ここら辺はカーテンですね。でこ こういうの多分テーブルに敷く昔の生地だと思うんですけども。
This one is patchwork together from things like a tablecloth and curtain.
When I was in high school, I had a dream to make an entire dress solely out of lace scraps. And I think I do still want to do that at some point eventually, although I've never had enough lace to be able to do that.
Next. Hello, I'm here in Harajuku. Rinrin is about 7 minutes by foot from Harajuku Station.
The next part is something that I personally would love to do. If I ever had like a brick and mortar shop, this is definitely a service that I would be interested in providing because I think what we're about to watch is so cool. Also, Rinrin is adorable. Just saying.
This is a clothing alteration and repair shop. But they also offer a very personalized remake service. They'll not only repair an item, they'll totally redesign it according to the customer's needs. They get about 100 orders per month.
That's impressive.
The shop manager, Shun, will be in charge of her redesign. Rinrin brought in this cute little dress. It's in forest green plaid with a fake leather collar. She loves the design and wore it for years, but it shrunk with time and now it's hard to wear it by itself.
I hate that so much when you have like a beautiful, perfect garment and then it freaking shrinks in the wash. Like, even if it doesn't shrink all at once, like it just gradually over time it gets smaller, smaller, and smaller until suddenly your butt's hanging out of it and it's like, what? This used to fit just fine. I didn't get any bigger. What is going on?
Rinrin has 5 requests. Mainly, she wants to make it less tight, make it long-sleeved, and add a waist time. Time to start on the remake. This workshop has all of the latest machinery.
蘇らせます。絶対に可愛く仕上げます。
First, he takes out the seams for the sleeves and sides to make the dress less tight. After using up all of the seam allowance, he sews it back together. Next, he adds fabric to make the skirt wider. He cuts triangles from black fabric and sews them into the sides.
Godets are a pain to install, but they are a good life hack.
This makes the skirt easier to walk in. Next, Rinrin wants long sleeves. To make them, he uses the lace that she picked out. He finishes off the new lace sleeves by reattaching the cuffs from the original dress.
10 out of 10. Excellent finishing detail.
These genius details are what make this service so popular.
めちゃくちゃ可愛く仕上がったんで、ぜひ大切な時に着てみてください。
Please wear it to a special occasion so that you can tell people that I made it and then they'll come to my shop.
Let's see what happened to the dress that Rinrin had remade.
Why couldn't they have just had her come in from another room? Why did they have to hold like a towel in front of her?
Ready?
It is quite cute. Not my personal style, but like very cute.
Oh my gosh. Take a twirl, take a twirl, take a twirl. So nice.
This is the dress that Rinrin had redesigned. Isn't it chic?
I can wear this and it looks really cool. It looks like a designer piece now.
So what changed?
First of all, I can move in it, which is a big deal.
She just looks more comfortable in it, you know?
The dress before, if I wore it as is, I could only lift my arms here. Like I couldn't move it above here.
Too tight?
It was too tight. And my legs, I can only go out this much. I cannot like stretch it like I do.
That's right, you opened
No.
it up.
I've had a few dresses like that. That sucks.
This.
And you did something else, right?
Yes.
You had something else done.
Actually, I had a pair of jeans that I've worn for about 6 years. And it's my favorite pair of jeans. And right before we went to their shop, it had ripped down the butt.
Right here.
Yeah, so they repaired it for me. Look!
You can't even tell that there was any rip or anything. Like, can you guys even see where the rip was? Where was it?
Right here.
You have to get really close to it.
Yeah.
I love how these are all old clothes that she loves and has had for ages and ages and doesn't want to get rid of. So instead of getting rid of them, she's altering them to suit her needs.
We have big news! Big news! It's time to announce the winners of the Kawaii Sustainable DIY Contest.
Yay!
It's time.
Thank you everyone for entering.
We had a lot of clothing entries, so let's take a look.
Yeah. So first up is this one, which is super, super stylish.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's super on trend. We have this thing right now where it's kind of patchworked, docking, asymmetry, layering, but they're actually stuck together. And I love the color.
I would totally buy this.
Clean is actually a brand that you can purchase from. It is an independent brand, all done by one person, and she is super sweet and is also a member of the Alternative Fashion Lovers for Sustainability Facebook group. In fact, I think everybody who got featured on this is a member of that group, which just means that you should join the Facebook group. But this is definitely one of my favorite pieces that she's done. I really like the color scheme. It's funny that Marion says that she would totally buy it because you actually can. I will link Clean's shop down below.
So look at this vest.
She said that she found it while decluttering.
After she started wearing Kawaii fashion and she was had that in her closet, but then finds this vest that's kind of maybe plain, maybe a bit boring, and how to fix it and mesh it within her current stuff. She just drew on it.
Yeah, nice.
Good.
I've done that with jackets before. It's really fun. There's these little like pastel crayons that are dye sticks that you can use to do stuff like this. There are all kinds of fabric dye markers that you can use. There are all kinds of like non-traditional ways to use fabric dye. All kinds of cool stuff that you can do with denim. There's no reason why denim should ever go to waste because it takes such a beating. If you get a good 100% cotton denim, you can bleach it, you can dye it, you can draw on it, you can paint it, you can do whatever you want to it, and it's just gonna take that abuse.
White Lolita.
White Lolita, made from old bed sheets.
Wow.
What?
You cannot even tell.
Where is the old bed
All
sheets?
I see is white, but I don't see bed sheets anywhere.
I mean, look at the design and the details in the dress. I love the ruching on the inside too. Beautiful.
Ooh.
And my dress. This is obviously an item that I handmade myself out of bed sheets because that's what I do, I guess. I have a whole video dedicated to this dress that I will link for you guys. That was a really fun project. It's definitely the project from last year that I was most proud of, so that was definitely the one that I wanted to submit. And I thought that the things that they said about it were incredibly lovely, and I'm just very touched and also just incredibly pleased that my name was out there in front of who knows how many people, and my dress was in front of so many fresh eyeballs. So that's definitely like, I'm not even mad that I didn't win. I'm just glad that like they had such good things to say about it.
And next, it's time to announce the winner, and it is
Right here. Justine Chantal!
Congratulations!
My goodness, can you imagine made out of a little, like, here's what, a jumper skirt, a regular tee, like
almost like a men's shirt.
Yeah, a men's shirt, and then a camisole.
What? I can barely, I can see the shirt and I can kind of see the jumper skirt, but then the camisole, all in the details, the ruching, the layers.
Beautiful work.
This is like on a scale of 1 to 10, and it's like up here.
100.
Justine Chantal is actually also a Kawaii sustainable YouTuber. She makes a lot of Lolita content specifically. She does tons of Lolita thrift flips just like this. If you have not found her channel yet and you like my channel, you will definitely love hers. I will link it down below. She is definitely a really cool person and has some really amazing upcycling skills. But definitely a huge, huge congratulations to Justine. She definitely deserved to win this challenge.
The winner, Justine Chantel, gets this original illustration by Mayuko, who does the graphics for Kawaii International. Congratulations!
That's such a cute little photograph of her and her daughter. It's so cute. So that was the sustainable fashion episode of Kawaii International. I love that sustainability is something that people in kawaii fashion are starting to talk more and more about. I'm definitely not the only one, but it is obviously something very near and dear to my heart. So it pleases me that so many people are starting to think about this and starting to implement small changes in their life. That's all for today's video. As I mentioned, everything that got talked about in this video will be linked down below, so I hope that you all check out the description if you want to see the whole episode without my annoying yammering over the top of it. And again, a big congratulations to Justine for winning the contest. She absolutely deserved it. Go give her channel some love, and go give the video for the dress that she entered some love, because that winning entry did also have a YouTube video associated with it, so I will also link that down below. I hope everybody has a good day, and I will see you all next time. Bye! Also, do we like my necklace? I made it myself a long time ago. It's got a rose in it. And you know what? I grew the rose too.